That it? Is that a thing? Let's see. How we doing out there? I think we're live. Let's see what YouTube Studio says. That out. Okay. Yes. Don't know if anybody's watching this, but this is going to be a little bit of an impromptu behind the scenes thing. A couple other members of the club are currently, I think, taping for another video right now. I am down here in the basement, and it's a bit of a mess right now, but I'm going to be finishing setting up the brand new audio mixer that we have to replace our old Multimix 8 that almost caught fire on us a couple of weeks ago. And if all goes well here, we'll test things out with a video with a little Mario Kart 8 Deluxe here in a few minutes. Yeah, I just got done with a rousing 30 minutes of troubleshooting involving OBS not wanting to capture both our front camera and our game capture at the same time. I think I've got that fixed now. We will see if it holds. Basically, we have two capture cards down here. They're the exact same model. They're both these like janky $7 things that we got from our local used electronics store. We actually have a couple of much nicer capture cards in here, including this like $100 Camlink 4K, which does not work with our camera. We have no idea why. It works with everything else. Our camera works with every other capture card, but these two do not like each other. There's also an older Elgato card down here somewhere that works, but has like a 3-second latency, so we don't use it because gross. So we have two cheapo capture cards plugged in. One of them is connected to my game console shelf. I'll turn this camera around so you can kind of see what we're dealing with here. All of my consoles live here. And then the other card is hooked up to the camera at the front of the room, which is the top left one on the screen right now. You're actually looking at our testing scene in OBS that has all 4 of our video sources in it. We also have our rear camera over here that we use for VR. So, I think for whatever reason, OBS just didn't like both of the same capture cards having the same name and everything in Windows and being plugged into both USB ports right next to each other on the computer. I moved one of them to a different USB port and now it seems to work, but we'll see. So, nobody's watching yet. I'd like to see how our sound is here. I'll flip this around again. This is our... You might notice that the room setup looks a little bit different. I have turned the desk with our streaming computer around 90 degrees and have some of our other stuff back here behind my head, including a turntable and a tape player and a bunch of other storage stuff. Everything else is still pretty much in the same spot. We've got a brand new 16-channel audio mixer down here. This is replacing, we used to use 2 that were like daisy chained together, so we had the smaller one back here that blew up, and then we had another smaller one that used to sit up at the front of the room that our microphone's plugged into. So this is replacing both of those, and everything can now be done from back here. This also has, this will be our first time having a mixer that has compressors for our microphones, which if you're not familiar with what that is, it's sort of a levelizer for volume, so it really makes your recording sound a lot more professional. It squashes the volume down when you yell, looking squarely at you, Jacob, and amplifies you a little bit when you talk quietly. I have no idea how well that's working. I have it turned on for my headset right now. Looks like it sounds okay. Hopefully we get some people viewing pretty soon and we can get some confirmation on that. So, let's see. I'm not going to be able to look at chat very much once I get up here, but I'm going to, in a minute, I'm going to turn on this wireless mic and start kind of fixing things up in here. We also have some unrelated construction going on in the staircase down here, so the whole place is a little bit of a wreck right now. Hopefully we'll have that fixed a little bit in time for our stream this week. Okay, that's on. That's got signal. And we'll get a little bit of compressor on this guy too. How's this? It's not very loud. There we go. We found this wireless mic for like $25. It's an incredible find at an antique shop. You might be able to see me walking around on various video feeds here. This whole place is a bit of a disaster zone right now. Let's make sure that all of these guitars and other things are muted so that I don't make any loud noises unplugging stuff. Is the front camera. You know, they told me to give this stream a more captivating name, I guess, because for whatever reason, the last time I did a stream like this, it got like 400 views. Way more than our usual weekly streams get, for reasons known only to the algorithm. A bunch of just crap from construction sitting over here. Sure that we have sound. This is essentially what I'm doing for the first like 30 or 45 minutes before every one of our weekly streams, by the way, is just running around plugging crap in. This guy on input number 2. We're also hoping to get a little bit of a soundboard going here. I don't know what that's going to be, probably just some random person's laptop. And we're definitely looking for a way for people to keep a better eye on the chat as we are streaming. It's sounding like the best way for us to do that is going to be to get another monitor that sits up front somehow. So just want everybody to get a view of the absolute rat's nest of wires that lives behind this. So here's the 2 capture cards I was talking about earlier. Everything in here runs through this board and up this massive trunk of wires to the other side of the room where all of my gaming stuff is set up. These poster boards I got in an attempt to cover some of this up and put some kind of art on it. All right. So let's see if we can get some Nintendo Switch in this mix. Well, that's going to be a lot easier to do if the Nintendo Switch is actually on the dock. I think it's still in here. It's definitely nearby because that controller just connected to it. Yeah. I hope you're enjoying the Switch case opening ASMR. Okay, so now if I put that on there, you should see that on the bottom left. And I cannot hear anything. Let's see. I don't think you all can hear anything on that right now either. Okay, so I'm going to try turning this up. Oh, sure enough, there we go. Okay, we don't want that too loud. Now I need to be able to hear it. Okay. Put that back on. Let's see. How's that sound? One, two, three. Yeah, I can't really tell how well the compressor is working here. I see it lighting up on both the mic that I'm holding and the headset, which is still connected to another channel. It's hard to listen to yourself talk in your own headset and have any idea of how it sounds, but I think the goal is to have this sound better than our previous streams have. The last ones, we had some leveling issues. We have a lot of peaking issues, mostly caused by people yelling. Alright, I'm going to turn this mic off, and... Oh. We have no... We don't have a game capture in here. Let's fix that. Okay, excellent. I'm now going to turn both of these mics off and go use the one at the front where I'm normally going to be sitting. Apologies. Need to be able to see whether... I have no idea whether you all can hear me right now. Just checking that we do in fact have sound coming out of the mics in the front. I spent a few minutes earlier plugging them all into the correct ports, and I think I've got it right. So by all of my accounts, this is on. I'm going to try to put it closer to my face now that we have mic compression. See if I can potentially have the chat up on my phone. I'll play this for a little bit and then we'll see. I'll go back and listen to the VOD and see how this sounds. Are those CPUs in an online game? Also, to anybody who stumbles across this at this point, I am not good at this. I'm probably one of the best Mario Kart players in this group, but you put me up against people who know what they're doing, and that completely falls apart. This is also supposed to be on ultra low latency, but it's still like 2 seconds at least to what I'm seeing on my phone. Koopa Cape Mario Kart Wii is my jam. I don't care what anybody says about it being the worst one. usually go, I'm either going to completely get my ass handed to me or I'm going to run out in the first place super early. Somebody in here has like 66,000 points. That is somebody who does nothing else. Below me got minus 16. Okay, I need to check my settings because the game was certainly acting like I have smart steer turned on, which I don't ever play with on, so I don't know why it would be unless I like bumped the wrong button. Yeah, no. Miss me with that shit. Good old Yoshi circuit from the Mario Kart Double Dash days. See, this is the thing. I can't see the board in the back, so I don't know. Okay, I pumped up the gain on this a lot. Is this any better? So I should have the game audio like low, but you should be able to hear me. It's really blown out, like distorted. I overcompensated a bit apparently. Okay, a little bit less gain, a little bit more compressor. Not gonna get a chance to mess with it again until after this race. Both of the ones I've done so far, I have started out pretty well and then just gotten obliterated with items and not gotten anything to defend myself with. All of the items I'm getting are just mushrooms. Let's see if I just hold on to this banana. If, well, it'll get stolen. I saw that like half a second too late. Ow. I cannot catch a break. Second place. You know what it is? I think the game is too loud and then the whole everything is too quiet. Rainbow Road all the way. Okay, I have turned the game down a little bit and the master volume up a little bit. I'm just gonna have to go back and listen to this later, because, like, I can't get the headset to reach all the way up here for me to hear it, and when I listened to it in the headset, it sounded fine. Whoa, this feels like 200cc. This is intense. I didn't catch if it was going to be 200cc, but it sure as hell feels like it. Oh, damn it. Oh, could not have asked for that at a better time. Yeah, this has to be 200cc. I have never done this track on 200 before, and it shows. I do enjoy that I managed to take that shortcut on all 3 laps. We should err on the side of making everything too loud and then let people turn the volume. Yeah, no, absolutely, that's what we should do. It's just, if we're too loud, then it gets all crunchy. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I might have the volume in because, like, I don't want to be peaking in OBS, and I was, like, almost doing that earlier. My volume on my phone is all the way up, and it's comfortable to quiet. After this next one, what I'm gonna have to do is take this mic off of its stand and just take it all the way back, so that I can see what levels we're hitting when I talk into it. Do not even know what I just got hit by there. Oh. Bump me away from the double item box, why don't you? See, it's just mushrooms. It's just mushrooms on mushrooms on mushrooms. It's so hard to get items you can defend yourself with. There we go. I'm not going to shoot this unless I get a really good opportunity because they're dragging another one behind them up there too. Oh, come on. Trick already. Okay, now I've got two. But I'd have to use both of them to guarantee a hit, and even then, it's better to just keep it behind you for when somebody else shows up. And see how, like, just virtually everybody just carries one back there. See, in order for me to hit that guy, I would have to use both of my red shells, and I just used one because somebody just threw one at me. There's a star. We're gonna use that just so that it doesn't get lightninged out of my hand. See, eventually you can kind of, well, then somebody just launches them all backwards for reasons known only to them. Now if you get... Nope. Shot dodge. But now I have no defensive item. This is probably not gonna... Holy shit, the person in first is gone. Do I use the triple reds to try and hit them? No, there's no way. They've already finished. Just keep all of these to hit anybody else if they pass me. It's actually a pretty good volume, although the game is a smidge too loud. What is the quality on my voice though? Like, is it crunchy? Is it... Because I've got the compressor turned like all the way up right now. I'll make it a little bit louder in OBS. some buzzing. See if I hear anything. Okay, yeah, now for whatever reason, all of our mics are humming a lot. Turn the main back down a little bit. Wow, it was not like this earlier. Okay, I'm talking on the headset in the back now. For whatever reason. Yeah, I just can't seem to get it to peak in the yellow without it hissing and humming in the background. Headset sounds good, because I can hear like a really noticeable hiss in my own ear. And it's barely coming up on the board at all. And that's not caused by this volume, is it? I'm gonna try it. I'm turning OBS up a little bit. Yeah, it's coming from this mic. I think it's the compressor. Because can you hear me at all when I do it like this? Like, I can see, OBS looks like it's okay. Like, it's showing up here, but I'm barely getting minus 30 on the board. I think it was too much compressor. Yeah, because that really makes a difference. So, like, less gain, barely any gain, all compressor. I don't hear the hiss now, but I can barely hear anything in my own headset. The volume of your voice is not changing. What are you? What? We're gonna take those out. Just a little bit here. And like put this way up. We don't have something weird going on with the, we don't have something weird going on with this input, do we? Let me pull up the Windows audio mixer. I need the actual mixer, not the weird fake one in settings. Wow. Have they completely removed that, or did they just hide it? Sounds. Recording. Line in. It's 100 recording volume. Yeah, it's barely picking me up at all. Let me switch back to this scene. Yeah, there's just not enough like dynamic range on this thing, because if I turn it up enough to where there's anything like that, and this might also just be that this particular headset mic is a steaming pile of trash. I might try the wireless one again, see if that's any different. That's because that one's muted. Oh, wow, that is really crunchy. Okay, turning that down. Okay. Yeah, we don't need nearly that much gain on this guy. Just going off of what I can hear in my headset. Lord, it still sounds like it's peaking a little bit. How does this sound out there? Why is it so crunchy? Why is everything so crunchy? This one is definitely coming through, and its level is much better looking than the one on the headset. Could go down a bit. See, I'm wondering if, like, I'm trying to do what you were saying and err on the side of too loud, but to me it sounds like it's still distorting a little bit, even though it's, like, nowhere near hitting the top. And I don't know whether that's just me, like, again, I'm hearing this while I'm saying it in real time, so I can't tell if that's just my voice or what. Improper grounding sound. I don't hear that in my headset. I'm wondering if that's the if that's like the mic cable or the line cable to the computer that's messed up. It is way louder here than it is normally, but like, if I turn this up any higher, it distorts. It may be distorting now. I'm going to turn the game audio off completely for a moment. You might just be hearing since I'm like right here, you might just be hearing the computer fans going. Yeah, no, this is definitely like what is going on here is none of this equipment is anywhere close to a peak, and it's still crunching out. Unless you have something squealing in the room with you. Not that I'm aware of. See, the other thing I don't understand is like, why is the level in OBS when I talk hitting minus 15, but like on the board it's barely hitting minus 30? Like someone holding the highest key on a shitty keyboard. See, that's weird because I don't hear that here, so I wonder if that's happening between the board and the computer. Yeah, I might have to. I did what I threatened to do, which is suck at Mario Kart. But I also really don't know. Like, I don't like the fact that all of this stuff is like distorting and crunching out on me, even though I have like, let's turn that off completely for this source and maybe just turn up the volume. There's no reason this should be distorting at all. It's nowhere near the peak point on anything, on the mixer, on its own receiver. I can even turn the volume this and back up a little bit. Maybe if I turn this way higher. Long as it doesn't go static. Okay, so there's like nothing on the gain there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there is a little bit going on like the OBS level shows a little bit of something going on. We back up from it, yeah. It still sounds a little crunchy even when I back away from it, but maybe like it's weird because like everything sounds like this. Like I can still hear the crunch in my headset even now. And it might just be that the headphones are fucked up too, because they're also fucked up. Let me go grab the one I was using from the front and see how that sounds. Oh, this one sounds different. Very different. It's because the compressor's turned all the way up. Also, put this one back in the middle. I had this one panned off to the far left side of the stream, since I have like the 4 that are on the couch panned positionally based on where we sit. This sounds a lot better. Yeah, like holy shit. Just a little bit of compression, not too insane, and I should be able to like give it a tap and it doesn't go too nuts. Yeah, we're in the red on OBS now, but we're still like barely halfway up the green on the mixer, which is weird to me. Do you still hear that like electronics high pitch noise, or did that go away when I turned the wireless off? So no more whiny noise? You just slowly go back and forth across your ears here. It did not go away. Everything else except for the mic I am holding is muted. And do you have like you still probably have your volume turned low. Yeah, let's see. So maybe we want just a little bit less gain on this guy. The only reason I heard it is because I had my volume all the way up. So yeah, let's do a little bit more compressor. What happens if I just like crank this? Yeah, you can tell the difference. That just peaked OBS for a second, even though we are again at like, yeah, this does affect the record volume. So, ¿por qué? Like if I turn these way up and then this down, the squealing is quiet. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's because it's like, it's got to be like a ground loop or interference in the cable going from the mixer into the computer. And I don't know if there's a different source I can use. I can try this one. I think that's coming from the mixer's USB interface. If that's any better, it's definitely quieter from the looks of it. Definitely reflects the volume on the board a lot better. However, for whatever reason, this one is mono. So can you hear me at all right now? Let's see. This is microphone. USB audio codec. Yeah, it calls it a microphone instead of a line in, so there's like, there's only one channel. That might be a driver problem. Does this still have the squealy sound though? Okay, so then yeah, it's definitely the cable. It's actually like a really high quality cable, so I don't know. That one in particular is like Well, it's better than like your cheapo Walmart aux cord, at least. Yeah, there's gonna be background noise because I'm like typing and holding this thing right next to the computer. Let's see if there's like, I'll have to look later and see if there's a driver update for this USB input that would explain why the record input coming out of it is mono instead of stereo. I change it back to the analog port. Yeah, I don't know if it's that big of an issue or not. Like I said, it could be a driver problem. Why is this still... What I don't understand is why this input is so fucking loud. Like, even when I'm not barely... Like, the lights on the actual mixer are barely coming on when I talk, and OBS is peaking. And, like, the volume's not even all the way up. I think if I could figure that out and, like, level it properly, we'd lose that hiss. Anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to get it, like we said, we want it to get, like, barely into the red when we're speaking. And when we, like... When we start actually, like, you know, raising our voices, it should still keep it below a certain level. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. There's your game audio again. Okay, yeah, some of that high-pitched hissing noise is actually coming from Mario Kart. Like, that's just part of the background to this screen. That's probably too loud. That's, like... See, when it gets this low, it's really sensitive. Yeah, I'll look up and see if there's, like, a reason... Put this back over to the left-hand side, since that matters now. Now the game is too quiet. It's something. There's some step in this whole thing is not lined up right. And I don't know what it is. It's probably OBS, honestly. Like, I've run into so many problems with this, with, like I said before, like, you weren't around when I first started this stream, but, like, I spent, like, 30 minutes restarting it and fucking with USB ports just to get both of the capture cards to work. For whatever reason, like, the one where the camera is just would not come on with the other one at the same time until I plugged it into a different USB port. Anyway, at least from what I can hear right now, this sounds okay. I'm gonna have to listen back to the VOD and see if there's like a ground loop that's causing the problem with the actual sound of the computer. Now let me experiment here. Did that make any difference to the weird hissing noise going on? I just pulled a cable out of the back. Just like that. Yes, they are cheap crap capture cards, but that's actually good for us because the expensive capture cards don't work. The one that you have, the can you mute the game for a sec so I can be sure? Tell you what, we'll just mute everything for a minute. Oh yeah, the main mix in OBS is quieter now when it's idle. I'm going to try plugging that back in and see if I notice. I'm going to mute everything. I'm going to try plugging that cable back in and see if I see a difference visually here. Okay, I pulled one of the extra output cables out from the back of the mixer for a different one of the buses that I don't think we were actually using, but it occurred to me that that and the other thing being connected to different buses in the board might be creating a ground loop. It definitely looks quieter now in the background, like when I completely turn the master mic volume down, the main mix is at almost completely silent instead of like a teeny little bit sitting there. I don't know. I don't hear a buzz. That might just be the that could still be the cable. That could be a lot of things. Yeah, and we don't want people to have their volume all the way up. That's the thing. They should be able to hear us just fine normally. I only wish I could get the visualizer on here to be a little bit better. Especially when I'm like going all the way back and forth between being really loud and being really quiet. I think the compressor is actually doing something there because it looks like I'm hitting about the same levels. This is good. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is mirror this so the main recording level is going to stay where it is. Maybe if I back that off, I want those to be on 0. If I back that off just a hair, maybe we don't want that. Maybe we actually want this up a little bit because it compensates for that buzz if this is higher and OBS is lower. Do you think there's a pot you can adjust to adjust the sensitivity of the monitor lights? This one is different than I'm used to. the monitor lights are based on what you're hearing in your headset instead of what's in the main, and you can control like what goes in and out of that. But they aren't sensitive to like any of the stuff in the rest of the mix. Like there's a separate headset volume slider, but it doesn't have any bearing over the monitor lights. So the only thing I've got piped into the headphones right now is the main, and it sounds pretty good to me right now. Just try and get this in the right spot where you don't hear the background noise from the fans on the computer running, but you can hear me really clearly when I speak. And I'll just put everybody else's in pretty much the same configuration here. Get some VU meters. That's basically what this is. The only thing is I think that hum, if anything, that's got to be the cable between the computer and the mixer, because that's like the only way that you could be hearing it and I'm not hearing it. If it's still there. If it's only like something that you hear if you max the volume out, then I don't think it's really a problem at all. I'm going to put everybody else's mic the same way as mine. And it would be better for us to use the USB I/O on this. I'm worried about there being latency if we do that, because our whole setup here is kind of to prevent latency so that we can have the sound in the room turned up for us to hear and it not be a problem with echo. There's worse shit on the local news. I feel a little bit like a news reporter right now with this big ass pop filter that I put on these things. Everybody else got one of those too. Okay, so then last thing would be, let me bring this back in. And let me know how that sounds relative to everything else, because like we want people to be able to hear this a little bit. It just doesn't. We just don't want it to drown everybody else out. I am going to assume that dead cats means some sort of microphone equipment, because I don't know what that means and that sounds fucked up. I have the internet over here though. Oh, it's like a little fur thing. Why are... I mean, I get it, but really? Why are they called dead cats? Yeah, shrugging emoji. Pretty much the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go put this microphone back where it belongs and set it up like I'm actually sitting on the couch and see if there's any difference. And I'm going to mute it while I do that so I don't, like, ASMR everybody. Okay, attempt numero dos. It's a little bit further away than I was holding it to my face earlier. But I do think that keeping these turned up a little bit and keeping them closer will result in better sound quality because we can keep the compressors up. I really don't like the Mario Kart Tour tracks. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not. Lovely. Well, maybe I'll get something good. Nope. Mushroom, baby. Hope you enjoy your 2 bananas. Your partially used item. Whoever used that, boo. Of course. Of course. Every time I get an item I can actually defend myself with, somebody uses a lightning bolt almost 5 seconds later. It is impossible to tell which way these freaking tracks go. What? Did my shell go hit the bomb and detonate it? Well, if nothing else, I cracked 4,000 points. It's not saying much. I mean, there are people in this... There are people in here who have like 60,000. Do people actually, like, look at their rear view cameras in this game sometimes? It feels like, because, like, I don't understand what possessed that guy to fire his defensive green shell backwards at me rather than hold on to it. I actually thought that thing to the right was part of the course. Piranha Plant is truly an F-tier item. How did I not get an item from that? I don't want to be next to the dude who has 3 green shells. Leave me alone. $100cc. This is going to feel like driving a Segway. This is one of the few tracks I have done on 200. not talking much because I'm actually holding first place. Usually when this happens, I'm going to get hit by something like halfway through the final lap and end up in 9th. Like that. Try and get up here. Get something. At least the person ahead of me hasn't got anything, but they took my item. Now I could be fucked. Because I have nothing until this next double item box up here, and if you take that, I'm going to be so mad. There you go. Oh, they had a super horn. I'm actually going to get first on this one. And then the lightning comes in. Alright, well, I'm definitely going to need to listen back to this and see if I can make any further adjustments, but if you come back and watch this later, hope you enjoy it. This was certainly a thing.